What's up, homies? Let's talk about could Gibson guitars go out of business? This is kind of a difficult subject that I'm seeing all over the internet. Everybody's debating as to whether they can stay in business or not. Or, I guess what happened is they sold a lot of bonds to shareholders, and a lot of those bonds need to be paid back within this year or next year. So some people call it around 325 million, some call it around like $500 million that they owe. So they either have to sell off part of the business, or there's lots of different ways that you can articulate and still stay in business. But from a consumer's perspective, let's look at some of the different signs of, I don't know, what we could figure out from the outside. A lot of their guitars, I could tell they've tried a lot of the different things that people are saying. Why didn't they try this? Why didn't they try that? And they did, like, that's kind of what I want to say is, like, what did they not do to satisfy the customer? And that's the hardest thing for people to understand, is they aren't as expensive as people make them out to be unless you pay for the higher and higher end models. They'll sell you a Gibson guitar for around $500. Some of them below $500, an American made Gibson guitar. And then, I don't know, some people complain that some of them cost several $1,000s. It's mostly in the paint and the finishes. A lot of that stuff costs a lot of money and time. If you're really just going to build a guitar and each part of the paint job takes a day and a day and another day, you have the guitar stuck there for weeks and weeks before you could ever sell it. And it costs a lot of money to produce. A lot of people don't realize that it's not just the name brand, it's really a quality product that takes a long time to make. So, I don't know, the people talking about the quality, I don't really buy into that either, that the quality's fallen off. I've played all their guitars from all the different generations, and I've heard people complain about all these different things, and it's unfounded. The parts that they're using are the same that they've been producing all along. They haven't changed anything about any of the models ever. It's just ridiculous to say that they're better or worse at one time or another. Now, it is true that they drilled a lot of holes in the bodies during like the 80s or 90s to try to lighten the bodies of the guitars, but I mean, that didn't happen forever. I think that was kind of a weird thing they did. But other than that, yeah, and people saying, oh, why don't they just make them cost $1,000? They offer one for $1,000. Why not 500? They offer one for 500. Why not 2,000? They offer one for 2,000. It's obvious what the real problem is. There's not enough players. And what people need to realize about the Les Paul was it was mostly revitalized by Slash. And there weren't too many other Les Paul players besides Slash.